What's up everyone, Ben again with Swift English. So we're going to take a look at another TOEFL Speaking Task 1. This time we're dealing with a food topic. You're not going to see this one all the time, but it's good to have a little bit of preparation just in case you get a topic that's kind of related to food. So here we're dealing with a choice question. Do you prefer, so we could tell right off the bat that this is a choice question because we see the word prefer. You might see the word choose, like, want. Anytime you see these words, you know you're dealing with a choice question here. So do you prefer to have fast food in a fast food restaurant, right? Like McDonald's, Pizza Hut, so on. Or do you prefer to have food, like food in general, not just fast food, but everything, in other kinds of places? So they didn't really specify what kind of places they mean, but it could be anywhere. Like it could be in at the park, it could be at your home, anywhere, guys. So just somewhere outside of the fast food establishment. Okay. So let's see here. I put other places, so I don't want to write other kinds of places. It'll slow me down. I only have 15 seconds, to prepare for this. So make use of the time, guys. Make great use of it. So other places, use a little symbol there. Why? I said it's just convenient for me. You could use convenient, really excellent word, works in a lot of task 1 questions, guys. You could even use comfortable, you don't have to, but these are words I might consider using in this kind of situation. So I have convenient here, and then here I use myself as an example, kind of like in that previous clip I went over. So take myself as an example, take myself, for instance. I'm gonna kind of start with this kind of response. Now I'm going into the details of my example. Like here I have FF, this is just short for fast food. So just a creative symbol, delivery. And then here I have more words and symbols. So this X is for negative words, like maybe I don't want to drive somewhere, right? And this is about lines. So I'm going to talk about each one of these. And the thing is, you're not, again, I've mentioned this many times before. You can see I have this ETC for etc. You're not going to be able to write down everything. I know it sucks. It's just the way it is. You just want to write as many ideas as you can on your piece of paper so that most of these will help you produce your first set of sentences. Basically, the first set of statements you're going to present while you're speaking. But you're not going to be able to write like every single word that represents every single possible sentence or statement that you're going to express. It's just not possible. But this is going to give you a head start. Well, I usually prefer, so opinion phrase, right? This time I didn't want to use definitely. I prefer usually or normally here. This is more like related to a habit. It's not something I might always do, but I mostly do. So, well, I usually prefer having food in other kinds of places like my home. Here I just was really specific. You don't have to be because it's more convenient. Okay. Take myself, for instance, or take myself as an example. So I'm going to use this phrase here. It's a nice way for this particular situation of mine. I can't stand driving. Now, I can't stand means you really dislike something. You really despise it. You detest it. You hate it, okay? So this is kind of almost like an expression. And the reason I used it is it's a little bit more advanced. You don't have to use it, but if you do know like advanced expressions and phrases, go for it. Why not? I can't stand driving to McDonald's. Or now the reason I mentioned McDonald's here, you could use other examples too, like Subway or Domino's Pizza, whatever. Is because the more you show off real life knowledge, the better. They love for you to be descriptive, to be specific, to be elaborate. So show off, don't be afraid. Or another fast food joint. So I have this phrase here because it's just a fantastic way of boosting my word count. It's just a small bit of your score. So this is like a because phrase, right? I could use because too, but I wanted to use something a little different this time, since it's really just a waste of time and gas. Not to mention, I'm just gonna throw another quick reason. And in this style, I'm basically complaining. So my reasons are really just complaints. Not to mention, it's extremely annoying when I have to wait in line to take my order. So that comes from this right here. All right. And I still have to wait to receive my food. And yeah, that's the thing when you're in line, at least here in the US and many countries, not just here. So you're waiting in line basically to take your order, right? So hey, I want a burger and fries with a Coke, right? But the food's not already prepared, so you still have to wait an additional whatever 10, 15, 20 minutes for it to be prepared. So that's why I have this and right here to complain about the second, time-related problem here. I still have to wait to receive my food. So that's really important. This drives me crazy. So I have this expression here. Again, I love to use reactions. They give you quick sentences right away, so go for them. This drives me nuts. This drives me crazy. This makes me angry. There's a lot you could use here. Now here, I didn't want to use lastly or finally or thirdly. It feels a little bit rigid, a little bit mechanical. So I opted to use something a little bit natural for this context and situation. So I use sometimes to diversify it. There are rude and angry customers in line. There we go. Which makes me feel, now I want to kind of mention why this is important to me for my response, which makes me feel rather uncomfortable. So if I use rather here, it means like somewhat, like to some extent, to some degree uncomfortable, right? Now here, what I did, I mentioned why I like the opposite choice. So on the other hand, I don't have to travel anywhere whenever I order food from the comfort of my home. So this is an expression. You don't have to use idioms or expressions, guys. They're optional. They could boost your score sometimes, assuming the rest of your response is mostly sound, right? Mostly accurate. Now, if you couldn't use something like this, don't sweat it. Don't panic. Just say, whenever I order food from home, from my apartment. Absolutely fine, guys. Just do the best you can. And I don't have to worry about, so here, I'm explaining another benefit when I have food, at my home. So I don't have to worry about any strangers possibly interrupting me while I'm eating my meal. So I'm not saying necessarily that this will happen to you if you do decide to have food in McDonald's or another fast food restaurant. But, it could happen. Maybe some guy is asking you about your burger. Like, what kind of burger is that? Is that a Big Mac or something? Or maybe they're asking you about the time. Maybe they don't have their smartphone on them, or some strange question about anything. Or can I sit right next to you? And you might not like that. So, you could be very dynamic. You could be very creative with your response. So when you come up with your logic, your reasons, you could say anything you want as long as it makes sense and it supports your choice. That's it. I hope you guys like this one, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to post a comment and share this with your loved ones, and I'll see you guys in the next one.